Well, hello, my friends. I'm excited to be here with Karine Sokpoh. She is the CEO of the Midland African Chamber. Karine, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Andy. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you.
Well, I'm excited. We're going to be chatting about Pitch Black. This is the third year that you have done this. The Chamber has hosted this. And I'm just learning so much more about it from our conversation the other day. But why don't you tell us, what is Pitch Black?
Sure. So the Midlands African Chamber is the only Black Chamber of Commerce in Nebraska. We were founded in 2020 during the pandemic. And in 2021, we saw the effect that the coronavirus pandemic had on small businesses and even more so on minority-owned small businesses.
Yeah.
And we wanted to find a way to provide access to capital and access to coaching to small businesses. So we decided to start a pitch competition called Pitch Black. So in August 2021 was the first edition. And then we had another one last year in August as well. And then this year, with the support of the community and of funders in the business community, we've been able to go from just a business pitch competition to a full-blown accelerator program. And so Pitch Black, the event, is the culmination of the efforts of the accelerator cohort and showcasing the 5 finalists at the event.
Well, so as you're saying, yeah, so as we get into the third year, and there's something here too. I mean, this is, there's the first of all, the recognition piece, that we'll talk about that a little bit later, but also there's prizes involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
And significant ones.
Yes, we have significant prizes involved. The winner, the Pitch Black champion, gets $10,000, a $10,000 cash prize, but that's not all they get. Thanks to partners, also like the Midlands Business Journal, they get exposure. They get marketing opportunities. They get an opportunity to learn about QuickBooks. They get scholarships to take college courses regarding business. They get legal services, and also they get accounting services to chamber members. So it's a whole package of prizes that they get. There's also, so the first place gets the 10,000 cash. Then we have the second place gets 5,000, third place 2,500, and then fourth and fifth they get $1,000 each. But in addition, they all get some type of in-kind services as well to make sure that they are able to set up their businesses right.
Yeah. I think, from starting a small business is not easy. There's challenges, and this really helps them. And I think also going through the process of this is probably really good for all of the businesses that are kind of in the mix of this. Because right now, how many businesses do you have right now that are like in it before? Because you start to narrow down.
Yes, so we have 15 businesses that started the Pitch Black Accelerator program in February.
Okay.
So at the end, on July 8th, on the stage, we'll have 5 that we have selected as the best to go forward and present to the audience. And this Pitch Black is going to be even more exciting because the audience is going to choose the recipient of the Investors Pick Prize, which is another $5,000 prize. And the audience will have to really pay attention to all the presentations of these finalists to determine, if they had $5,000 of their own money that they wanted to invest in a startup, and they expected to see their money back plus interest or see it grow, which one of those 5 candidates will they trust with it? And I think that's a huge honor to get that investment pick prize, because that's a vote of confidence of 300 people in your business. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And who can compete in this?
So for Pitch Black, the business competing has to be owned at 51%.
Okay.
So basically 50% or more by a member of an ethnic minority. So not necessarily a Black person or an African American person, but any ethnic minority.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you this, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the chamber, because I want to know a little bit about the chamber itself. But why did you create Pitch Black? I mean, you were inspired.
I was. And, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur myself, having had my law firm here for 11 plus years in Omaha. But moving to Nebraska when I was 20, all by myself to a whole new continent from Togo in West Africa, I lost all of my social network. Yeah. I lost all of my social capital. And so I was fortunate enough when I was starting my law firm to have the benefit of being part of attorneys networking groups, one of them being the Midlands Bar Association, which is an association of Black lawyers. And they really helped mentor me and help me get started, with my firm. And then that got me to thinking, well, how about somebody else that's out there that's just starting a business, not necessarily not a law firm? Who do they turn to, that will be able to be at their price point? Yeah. What could they have? And so that's how the idea of the chamber came about. And then the idea of Pitch Black came about.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the chamber, and then before we end, we're going to talk about getting tickets to the event. That's very important. But what is the Midlands African Chamber?
So the Midlands African Chamber mission is to connect, champion, and empower minority-owned businesses in Nebraska and in the Midwest. That is our mission. And to do so, we've identified 3 things that those businesses need in order to succeed. And the first one is cash funding. Second one is coaching, having those mentors to help guide you. And the third one is connections. So the 3 C's: cash, coaching, and connections. And so our goal is to create an environment where we can foster equal opportunity and access to those 3 things.
Yeah. I mean, that's just so important. That's so important. And who can join the chamber?
Anyone can join. We started the chamber with just 9 founding businesses, 9 founding member businesses, and we are at 200 plus today.
Wow.
So it is rapidly growing. We invite anyone that's willing to join, whether you're a small business, a large business, somewhere in between. There's room for you, and we welcome everyone regardless of race.
So what year did it start again? 2020?
2020, yes, okay. During the pandemic.
Wow. And I'm going to actually dive a little deeper with that. Were you in the process? Like, how many years? Tell me the timeline of when you thought about, creating a chamber, and then to when it actually, became, materialized. Yeah.
So I started thinking about creating the chamber after getting involved. I was also involved with the Nebraska Hispanic Chamber. Okay. And to give you a little bit of a perspective, on March 6th, right before we shut down due to COVID, they celebrated their 15-year anniversary. And I had been around them for about half that time. And I really saw the good things that they were doing also for the community. And so that just inspired me even further to do this. And so we started looking into it. I started plotting with Yesenia Peck, who's the president of the Nebraska Hispanic Chamber, or she was at the time. to find out how to make this happen. And so it took us about a year or so. But then what took longer was that the lack of time on my end to get all the paperwork put together. But then once COVID hit, courts closed for a minute.
Yeah.
And so that was my opportunity to finalize everything. And so we did.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you went from 9 founding businesses, and now you have over 200 members.
Yes,
And talk a little bit. Do you have events throughout the year? The people
we
that
do.
networking events?
We do. We do. We have networking events every month. We have one coming up again we have a couple coming up here soon. So our roll call events, what other chambers call coffee and contact,
Mhm.
but ours in the evening so the next one that we have coming up is gonna be this June, and we are doing it in connection with another one of our members, the Nebraska Enterprise Fund. And
Yeah.
yep, and then we also have Pitch Black that's coming up on July 8th at Creighton University at the Harper Center. It's gonna also have a business exposition that's gonna be part of it. We are having wonderful speakers coming from all over the country to talk to us about breaking barriers in business. So it's gonna be a good time. But I will invite anybody to follow us on social media to find out more about our events and join and try to attend some of those events.
Yeah.
We are on Facebook on the Midlands African Chamber. We also have a Facebook group called We Pitch Black. We are on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere.
So all the social media channels. Well, we've got just a minute or so left. So let's talk about tickets to Pitch Black. But just tell us briefly, who are your speakers? Because we talked about this the other day and you went into great detail, but tell us briefly, because you have some pretty dynamic speakers.
We do. So we have Ishmael Samuel, who is a co-founder of Paragon. And Paragon raised about $12 million for this IT tech company based out of California. He's going to be one of our speakers. We also have Hogwe Kwesu, who is an immigrant from Togo in West Africa. She's just 23 years old, and she's a student at a university in Jacksonville, Florida, that came up with this line of luxury handbags. And one of her customers is Cardi B. Yeah. We also have Derek Kayongo, who is the founder of the Global Soap Project. He was a former refugee from Uganda. He's gonna be here with us talking about entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, and how to break barriers there too.
Yeah. Again, this is going to be phenomenal. So everybody put this on your calendar for July 8th, but let's talk about tickets. You can go online to buy tickets.
Yes, you can buy tickets at wepitchblack.com. The tickets right now are $50 for chamber members and $60 for non-chamber members. But watch out, because in about a week, that pricing is gonna go away, and then they're gonna go up by $20. So you wanna get your tickets now.
Yeah, get tickets now. And again, this really is a must-be-at event. And what are the hours? Like, tell me the time frame of it, because you have an expo. It starts out with an expo where there's going to be vendors displaying their services and whatnot.
Yes, exactly. At 9 o'clock, they will start the expo, and then the event itself starts at 11 a.m. and it ends at 3 that day. And there will be African food for lunch, so get ready. Not your typical salad lunch.
Yeah. No, I'm so excited. And again, I'm excited to see these the top 5, the best of this group, though I have to tell you, looking at the people that the business owners involved and that are, you know, pitching their business, they're all pretty spectacular. So again, July 8th, tickets at pitchblack.com.
WePitchBlack.com.
We pitch black. I know I'm sure the website is down below us here, but go buy your tickets, and we hope everybody will be there on that day. And Karine, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be there, and Midlands Business Journal is really proud to be a sponsor of this event.
Thank you, Andy. It was my pleasure. Yeah, I appreciate having you guys as sponsors for this event.
Absolutely. And folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.